here.
What's up, everybody? It's your favorite unidentified flying objects favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the Omni from MMC. This is the third masterpiece scale Cosmos that I have looked at personally, and yay for options, I suppose. This is on loan to me from Robert D, the Maniac, and he recently just said, well, I'm a maniac. Maybe he's a little sensitive. Robert D, the sensitive Maniac. Anyway, we'll talk about it. He does come with some accessories, namely this blue piece with a actually is it a translucent plastic, so everything is painted? Cool enough. And then this is a job for daintier fingers, ladies and gents, but let's see how we can do. There, which it doesn't cover the top and bottom of that translucent piece, which I find a little weird. And then you can still see what's going on there. In the back, we got Bumblebee. We'll take that off for a second. You got Blaster in there. That's been a big promotional thing for them in terms of marketing. And I think that it was smart because it's pretty interesting. And then you can open this up. But it doesn't have translucent behind it, so it doesn't really matter. It has landing gear. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. I think I am. Yeah. Not the best, but E for effort, so to speak. I'm not going to bother with it. It's too difficult for my hands to get out. And let's see, you can take these out here. And I'm only going to do one because I think that's all that's necessary. And you can plug in, it comes with two of these. They're just single cast little pew-pews, and you can plug those in. Easy for me to say. In theory, you can plug those in. Let me see if I have any luck with the other one. Yeah, I would imagine you can plug these in. It's just small, like I need tweezers. I'm not that guy. What do you want from me? Gorilla mittens. Ask about me. Anyway, let's put this back on if we can. Actually, I'll do it off camera. No need to waste our time. These flip out as well. These front guns, I'm only going to do one because it's a pain. But they do it, and this thing has a ton of what seems to be paint on it. I'll be able to look at that a little bit better as we get into it. But it's a pretty decent looking UFO mode, and size-wise, it's fairly, what you would expect. There it is, nice old Tiger Tracks. I think that it's probably the best one so far in terms of the alt mode, but we have a lot more to look at before we can kind of really say how we feel about it. Either way, it's definitely nothing to turn your nose up at. It's really well done. This olive green, that's to me is the biggest turnoff so far with it. Let me see if I can put this back together while I'm talking. Like it doesn't seem appropriate to me. Like, and it is off-putting. Honestly, that's obviously a subjective thing, but it just seems like a really strange green choice. But yeah. There it is. And also no display stand. I kind of got attached to the display stand idea from X-Transbots, so that's a bummer as well. And no option either. My Toyworld one doesn't have one either, but now that I kind of see what the other side of the grass is like or whatever, and it is a little bit greener. So let's get it transformed. Open this stuff up in the back. These flaps here, and these are your arms. We're gonna do the lower body first. And bring this down, and make sure that you're disconnected. Bring this down, and the feet basically operate the same way that, they're all little subtle differences, but most of them have kind of done the same sort of thing. Close this up and close this up. Bring down, close this up, and close this up. Now let's deal with all this. This is the part that I'm not crazy about. So you're supposed to bring these around like part of the way. And I guess that's it. The thing is, I don't know. Like, it's hard to exactly where it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? And then you want to rotate this top portion like we looked at so you can see the guts. And then collapse. And that pops the head out and that goes down further. But see, and it's possible that I just don't have everything situated right. But then you bring these pieces around, and then you slide these pieces back. Close that up. And then this tabs together here in the center. but you got to make sure that this isn't snapped in place yet. It just doesn't feel good. I guess that's it. And then close that up. I'll fix it off camera. So for the arms, flip the cannons around to the bottom, flip the hands out, and then this stuff collapses to tab back into the forearm. It's got to go a certain way. There you go. Same for the other side. Cannons around to the bottom. Come on. Flip the hand out. And then collapse all this. And that's basically him. I'll get him cleaned up. We'll take a look at him. So let's talk about him. I have mixed feelings, to say the least. So the head is on a ball peg, and then the ball peg is connected to the neck joint, which is on a hinge. So even though a hinge swivel is my favorite, this works better than that, to be fair. Nailed it. Yellow paint on the face that's chipping. You know, it's the cost of business sometimes for having nice paint. So I don't really hold that against them either. This green is a finish, at least it appears to be. It may be glossy plastic. I think this is at least painted. It's hard to tell. Either way, it looks good. All the paint in the chest looks fine. Some of it gets a little touch and go here down in the white and black section. Waist swivel, no issues there. The shoulders have a hinge here and then a swivel here, so it basically operates as a universal joint, but it's not a super well toleranced joint. It's fine. It's not pretty and it's not super well toleranced. And there's a number of different configurations that you can have this for. It's just like everything moves about, so you can kind of make some changes to it. But this seems right to me. You know, maybe this and then this up. I don't know. Put it this way. None of the configurations change my issues with it. Clear? Good. Either way, the range is great. And you get the swivel all the way around. Then you have a bicep swivel, you have a double jointed elbow, and both of that is extremely clean. Now we got some hollow stuff up in there, but I think that's okay given the engineering feat. I think it works extremely well. Like, that is a really clean Cosmos arm. I think that's the cleanest Cosmos arm we've seen so far. Wrist swivel, fingers are on a base pin knuckle, and they're all... No, the bottom three are connected, and then the index finger is separate, and he does have an additional hinge, so you can make him point and such, so that's cool. Thumb is on a ball peg, so you get the out and swing around. Same for the other side. Moving down, ratcheted forward, frictioned out to the side, universals. Because of the weight of the die cast in the figure, it doesn't hold it extremely well, but given the weight, I think it does okay. Thigh swivel right there at the universal, not an extreme range, but it should get you by with no problem. And then a double jointed knee getting you pretty much the full range. So no issues there, and the hip skirts come out. Ankles, you have a tilt up, which is very nice. A tilt down that breaks the sculpt, but I think it's okay. And then you have an ankle rocker. Once again, it's hard for the ankle rocker to kind of keep its integrity because it's a heavy foot. And it's, you know, just needs a super, like, it probably would have been best to have a ratchet in there, to be honest. And then there he is from the back. My issues are that, like, a lot of times that you're going to, oh, you know what? He kind of, I guess that's an ab crunch. I'm just seeing that now. It's slight, but it's there. Let's give it to him, because I'm not giving it a whole lot more. It's not bad. It's just that there are some things about it that kind of irritate me. A lot of times as I've been manipulating it, taking pictures of it and such, like, these pieces have a tendency to kind of split apart. Like, it doesn't seem super solid. You know, it doesn't seem solid. It seems a little on the, like, not unfinished. Hey, Siri.
Hi.
Hey, you got a thesaurus in that thing?
We were talking about you, not me.
Just another woman that doesn't want to help me. Flimsy side in that regard, I guess. Or, you know, just it lacks the kind of structural tightness that I personally like in my figures. There he is next to the Toyworld, which is the only one I have at the moment. I don't have any other Transformers in here, and if you've been watching my reviews, you know I got some stuff going on in the basement, so I can't really get to him at the moment. And then there he is with G Creations Prime. I just happen to have that handy. So he's a good size. You know, I had the Toyworld. Well, I guess we'll save it for final thoughts rather. But it's a good size figure, and I do overall. I really like the proportions of him as well. Final thoughts wise, let's get to the negatives. The negatives are the kind of solidity. You see that piece has come unslid a bit. The solidity of the final product just doesn't have what I personally look for in a masterpiece styled figure. Unfortunately, the same part of it that doesn't feel extremely solid is also the same part that I don't really enjoy in terms of the engineering. That move the pieces slightly out, slide the pieces around. And, you know, it's not mine. Maybe if you mess with it more, there's a better way of doing it. But per the instructions, that's what it seems like it's telling me, and I'm not crazy about it. And then lastly, I don't care for the color green. Well, it's not that I don't like the color green. I think the color green is just fine. It's this particular shade of green applied to this figure. There is the G1 cartoon image. It's just a darker green. It's just not this olive green. Now, this should be the Studio Ox design because that's what they've been going with for their masterpiece style figures. But I've been looking for pictures of Studio Ox Cosmos and I can't seem to come across any. So it could be that they are privy to some art that I am not and therefore they got the color right. I can't say that for sure. I'm just saying how it strikes me. Positives wise though, there's plenty of paint and the paint looks good. It does have a tendency to chip off. That's part of the, you know, it can be. It doesn't always have to be, but it can be a part of the problem with having painted figures. You have to decide how that fits in terms of your priorities. The arm design is brilliant and works extremely well. The articulation is there across the board and the proportions are good. The real best thing about this figure are the materials. The materials feel stellar. Like the plastics feel great, the metal feels great. The hardware where it is applied feels awesome. That's where this guy really shines. So let's talk about the three. The one that I got is the one that I recommend the least in the end. The X-Transbots one I recommend the most. And this one would be my runner-up. I think X-Transbots beat them. To be fair, that's definitely X-Transbots' best product that I've personally looked at to date. But the X-Transbots engineering, articulation, presentation, and accessories blow this thing out of the water. That being said, this thing definitely gets the better of Toyworld. So it's not bad. And ultimately, I recommend it if you really like the way it looks, because there's not enough bad to not recommend it. And there's plenty of good about it. But in my opinion, it's just not the best option out there. But if it makes you feel better, I didn't buy the best option either. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.